Shalom, this is Levi Shore. Welcome back to Sweet and Good Torah. So we're going to do Parsha Eikev. And Hashem makes some amazing promises to us of brachas if we follow the mitzvos. If we follow the mitzvos, everything will be awesome. Just like Emmett in the Lego movie saying everything is awesome. And it's kind of interesting that character's name is Emmett. And in Lashon HaKodesh in Hebrew, Emmett means truth. Ashkenazis would pronounce it Emes. Sephardis would pronounce it Emmett. And it means truth. It's kind of interesting. Maybe there is a little bit of truth, even in something like the Lego movie. And he's happy with his life. He was happy with just his portion. And he's singing, he's happy. And right, he's driving in the beginning in this police surveillance state and doesn't even notice. But it's a good question. Like, even if you're living in this surveillance state, you can either be happy or you're going to be miserable. I don't know. It's like, the world has tov v'ra, good and evil. So it is some incredible promises of bracha if we follow the mitzvah. So let's jump right in. So it says, "V'haya Eikev tishma'un es hamishpatim ha'eleh u'shamartem v'yasisem osam." So it says, and it will be that if you listen to these mishpatim, which are more of like the laws, the mitzvahs dealing with bein adam l'chavero, dealing with relations between people, and then if you will guard and perform them. So v'shamar Hashem Elokecha lecha es habris, and then Hashem your God, He will safeguard for you the bris, the covenant. And what is going to be this covenant? Es hachesed asher nishba la'avosecha, and this is the kindness that He swore to your fathers. So He will love you, He will bless you, He will multiply you, He will bless the fruit of your womb and the fruit of your land, your grain, your wine, your oil, the offspring of your cattle, and the herds of your flock on the land that He swore to your fathers to give to you. You will be the most blessed of all the nations, and there will be no infertile male or infertile female among you or among your animals. Hashem will remove from you every illness, and all the afflictions of Egypt that you knew He will not put on you, but He will put them on your enemies. So, sounds great. So, we follow the mitzvot, and we get all these brachos from Hashem, and everything's awesome. So here's the crazy questions. We have an obvious kasha right away. And the kasha is that, Jewish history hasn't totally been this. We've had a lot of, unfortunately, the klalas, the curses on the other side if we're not following the mitzvos. So there's two encouragements. There's the carrot, which, follow the mitzvos and you're going to get all this blessing and bracha. And there's the scary side, like don't do the mitzvos, and there's going to be a lot of affliction. We've had 2 temples destroyed. We've had, the Crusaders ripping and murdering us, through, Europe, and inquisitions and pogroms and the Holocaust and terrorist attacks. And yeah, so right. I think we've also been blessed. We're living in exile, and Baruch Hashem, like there's a lot of Jewish people that, have had financial success and have had academic success and had success in entertainment and science and almost every kind of field you can think of. So we also have had great blessing, and we've also, had the other scary side. So what does it exactly mean, like do the mitzvos, and then you're going to get all these blessings? And then it's also interesting because one of the final blessings is that we're going to get the land, and most of these, and when we inherit the Eretz Yisrael, when we inherit the land of Israel, then every family will have its own portion of land in the land of Israel. They'll stay in their family for all generations. And so we haven't really got that yet. And it's interesting because even though you would say, oh, well, it's like, the land of Israel, a lot of it's under Jewish control. But it's interesting because really it's like the government of Israel right now that really owns all the land. And it's not individual Jewish families that have a portion of the land yet. And then there's also, there's all these terrorist groups that want to, hurt us in the land. So I don't think we've, I think if you really look at it, we really haven't inherited the land yet. And the land's much broader. The promise to Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov was much broader. The land of Israel would go into like a lot of Lebanon, Syria, all of Jordan, into Iraq, the bottom part of Egypt and all the Sinai desert. So obviously none of that is all the land of Israel yet. Going all the way from the Mediterranean to the Euphrates, that's not Eretz Yisrael. And even the little portion that we're in right now is completely disputed by all the nations of the world. And we're constantly getting all these claims. So these blessings haven't been fulfilled. And and we're not, we don't own our own land where we have acres and acres and acres of land. We can raise animals and raise, crops. So we haven't really got that blessing yet. So the question is, why? I mean, for thousands of years we have been keeping the mitzvos, and even through this 4,000 years of struggle, I say there's still a core of Jewish families that have held on to the mitzvos the whole time. Have been attached to the yeshivas and held on to the Torah, and then there's a lot of Jewish families that have drifted away somewhat, and there's an awakening, and people are heading back. People are getting more interested in the Torah and the mitzvos, and they're coming back. So, I mean, it may be that not until we enter the Yemos HaMashiach, the age of Mashiach, that these brachas will be fully realized by the Jewish people. And there's another kasha, there's another question. Can a person do it individually? Can, you just individually yourself, by, really absorbing yourself in the mitzvahs, get these brachas? Or do we all need to be doing it? It's a national thing. So I think one thing, there's 50 levels, there's 50 gates of wisdom. And I think that may be a thing there. People are on different spiritual levels, and maybe there's even 50 levels. And I think in each level, if you want to look at it like a muscle, like a video game, it gets harder. So, when someone's just starting at a lower spiritual level, I mean, Hashem may give you a lot more bracha for doing just a little bit. But as, you go from beginner to intermediate, to a more advanced stage, in the great Torah scholars. So at the more advanced levels, a great Talmid Chacham, great Torah scholar, I mean, for him to get the blessing, he may have to be fully absorbed in the Torah. And then, Hashem wants him to reach that level of spiritual greatness. And then Hashem's going to give the brachas. But Hashem wants to rain down these brachas on us. He wants to rain down these blessings. It's like any parent that wants to give gifts to their children. And there's really no reason for us not to try to get more and more involved in the beautiful mitzvos, and they help us grow as a person. They make us better, they make us kinder, they get us out of ourselves and caring more about the world around us. So let's all, let's Eikev. Let's start with a heel. Dip our heel in, as Eikev means heel, and then we'll try to work our way up, so eventually our whole body is absorbed, our whole lives are absorbed with these beautiful mitzvos in the Torah, and doing kindness and good for others. And then we can live in a world where this bracha, this blessing, rains down to the Jewish people, and then the whole world, when they see the blessings that have rained down on us, they also will want to be involved in the Torah and the mitzvahs, and making a relationship with Hashem. All the best. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you back again soon on Sweet and Good Torah.